Relaxer Stretching 101.
Hey there! I decided to do a quick video on relaxer stretching. Well, this is basically extending the period one waits before she gets a relaxer. So it's waiting an extra few days, an extra few weeks, an extra month or 2 or 3 before you get that relaxer. When I first started my hair journey, I actually did a 9-month stretch. Now, many don't advise this, but
what you do go with your hair.
So I did a 9-month stretch. It made me feel like I was starting a new challenge. It made me feel like I was doing something different, and it actually helped me to see results really, really quickly. Some of the benefits of stretching are: 1, it helps your scalp recover after each relaxer treatment. While you shouldn't apply the relaxer to your scalp, there are instances where it does happen, and in that case, in the event of the relaxer touching your scalp, then stretching long periods will help the scalp to recover. Also, it helps to prevent overlapping, and by extension it helps to prevent breakage. Now, overlapping is where
I'm going to assume that everyone knows by now that you are not to reapply relaxer to previously relaxed hair. The relaxer should only be applied to the new growth. I'm going to assume that.
So, overlapping is when you apply the relaxer to previously relaxed hair. So what having lots of new growth does is prevent overlapping. You can easily detect the line of demarcation, which is where new growth meets relaxed hair, and so you can avoid it and stay within the new growth range, keeping your hair healthy. Another benefit of relaxer stretching is that it really does thicken your hair up, I think, due to the lack of breakage and over processing. Because if you notice, some persons who just constantly process their hair, it thins, and I think that is mainly due to breakage. So it really gives you thicker hair than you might have if you were not stretching. There are a few cons to stretching. I think the most prominent one is breakage and shedding. Now, if you don't know how to manage your hair while you have lots of new growth, you can and will encounter, breakage. The line of demarcation, which I previously alluded to, is one of the weakest points on your hair. So if you're just tugging through without regard for that line of demarcation, you can get some breakage there. Sometimes the new growth tends to be drier than your relaxed hair. That also causes breakage. There's also the factor of shrinkage. Lots of persons like their hair to be its natural length, or should I say its stretched length. So that might be a con for you. But I think overall the pros of stretching outweigh the cons. So it is indeed a good thing for you to go ahead and do. The first tip is to do protein treatments. The protein treatment will strengthen the line of demarcation and reduce breakage. Black tea rinses or even green tea rinses, so tea rinses in general, and these are good for preventing or slowing down shedding. The next tip would be to learn how to properly detangle your hair. Detangle from the ends up to the roots. If you take it from the root down, then chances are you're going to pull the comb to a point, and then all the shed hair, they're gonna bundle at one point, and then there's no getting through them. So detangle from the ends up to the roots. Invest in a good detangler. They really do help sometimes. You can always detangle in the shower. That is when your hair is obviously its moistest because it's wet.
Hello.
So detangling in the shower really does help. Using a white tooth comb as opposed to a fine tooth comb will do you a world of good. And also finger detangle. Prior to using the comb, or some persons use a Denman brush and so on, go ahead and finger detangle. Not finger detangle, finger detangle. Because it really does loosen up those tangles and get rid of some of the shedding prior to you going in with your comb or your brush. The next thing I would say is to do low manipulation and protective styles. If you do a long-term protective style, then that can take your stretching game from 6 weeks up to 10 weeks or even 12 or 14 weeks. Low manipulation styles as well. The less often that you have to go in and comb your hair, the better off you will be, because you won't have to encounter, so much breakage.
My light is going away. I'm gonna finish this real quick.
The final thing I'm gonna say is be aware of when you are just no longer able to manage and you either get your scissors, if it is that you are stretching to transition,
Or your relaxer and start to work on a new journey.
So those are my tips for stretching. I hope they were helpful to you. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that it will bring you to healthier hair and longer lengths. Thank you for watching.
XOXO.